So we have a big job to go and find the best startups outside, and we're going to rate them on a bunch of different categories like uniqueness, their business opportunity, whether they're hitting an interesting market window. Are they for the iPad or are they for Windows XP, right? What kind of team do they have? What kind of go-to-market strategy do they have? And what kind of leverage are they using to get in on this market?
Are you a venture capitalist, Robert?
I don't have money. I invest my time and my audience's time in companies, and that's interesting because it's different from the way you approach the world, right?
Yeah, I'm in the business of new. We fund early-stage companies. We fund primarily the stuff that drives enterprises and consumer sites, but it's a great time to look at startups, and you talked about creativity and what that means. We're really looking for new, that you're actually breaking through to the next level of something. Right now we've got great dynamics going on in the cloud, in mobile, in social, free on-ramps for distribution. One of the questions we're asking almost everybody is, what's your mobile strategy? Yeah. I'm actually surprised that companies don't all start with mobile as an on-ramp.
It's also interesting how we approach things like how long we're going to have to deal with this company. I approach it from how long am I going to use it? Like when I saw Flipboard last year, I said, could I use this for 5 or 10 years? You're looking at, can I live with them in the boardroom for 5 or 10 years, right?
Well, more than the boardroom. Our job as investors is trying to bring as many unfair competitive advantages as possible. So I'm looking, do I see a Trojan horse here? Are they going to get into a castle and build some kind of moat? Do they have the kind of intellectual horsepower and energy to really build a long-lasting company? It takes a lot of years for most companies to get to $1 billion. For many companies, a lot of years to get to 100 million. Once we become your investor, we're there for your lifespan, and we hope it's a long, successful one. Yeah.
This morning on one of our panels, somebody asked, what's the trend of this year? And I pointed to this device. I think tablets, not just the iPad, but the Android tablets, the HP touchpad, the RIM playbook that's being shown off here. There's something happening here. What do you think is happening, and what are you investing in?
Well, I was fortunate to start in the software industry right at the beginning of the PC era. And people thought that was kind of crazy that you would actually leave behind these mini computers and mainframes. And now, this is a desktop. Your desktop is in your hand. And for almost every startup, whether you're in the enterprise or consumer, we believe you have to think of this as your desktop. Yeah. It's interesting, Robert. We had a bunch of CIOs and CTOs from Fortune 50 companies in our office last week, just by chance. And almost every single one of them walked in with an iPad. Some had iPad 2s, some had, original iPads. So small things, what does your website look like on a pad, as well as mobile? What are some things that really get people's attention? So unlike the old, BlackBerry days where you'd sneak under the table and do a few emails, people are really interactive with their own environments in real time. Yeah.
You talked to me about leverage and the leverage that companies use to get into a new space. Several, I call them reefs. Dave Weiner called them reefs that companies are building on top of, like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. And you're seeing lots of companies, like Instagram is a photo sharing app that builds on top of those and uses those to distribute photos and find friends. What are some of the reefs that or maybe lever points you're finding are interesting in our industry?
Yeah, distribution is always a big issue for anything. How do you reach your customer base? And what's the cost of customer acquisition? And certainly, with Android, Google is telling all the mobile providers, you have to put the Android App Store on your devices. So you are guaranteed free distribution. That's huge. To get distribution. Now, how do you build awareness is where we focus our attention. How good are you at with the tools of the trade of marketecture? social marketing, social campaigns, lead generation, lead nurturing, and there's tons of tools that have been funded by venture capitalists for that as well. Secondarily, where is the value now? There's a new layer called the data layer, and analytics can be your Trojan horse. And it's still amazing to me when you ask companies, well, what's happening in your data layer? What kind of analytics do you have? Or do you own special algorithms? Are you using game theory? That's all very, very interesting. And that, in many ways, owning and knowing how to use the data layer is a reef in itself.
Yeah. During our panel this morning, we talked about AirPlay, and you probably can't see this, but this is a new app that's coming out in about 2 weeks, and it's called Show You, and it pulls in your Facebook, your Twitter, your YouTube, and builds a grid of 1,000 videos. But when you find a video you like to watch, you can watch it here on the iPad, but then using AirPlay, the protocol that Apple invented, you can push that instantly over to your big screen TV. How is the living room changing because of these new technologies?
Well, I just installed, someone gave me a whole Sonos music system for Christmas. And, so one more time I took my giant box of CDs and ripped them off again and put them on the ones I didn't on iTunes. So I was really happy to learn today that I could put them on the Amazon cloud, and they would have the capability of having that mobility, having access to my data anytime, anywhere, from any device to play music in my house. And I think that because Wi-Fi is ubiquitous, I can get it almost on any plane flight. Broadband with 4G and LTE is richer. That changes everything. We're sort of laggards here in the U.S. to get most of that. But that's also a competitive advantage you have to take advantage of, is assuming, again, this is my desktop, or this in my hand is my desktop, and that I'm going to leverage the cloud. I'm going to leverage all the activity that's happening from architecture there in social, and I'm going to acknowledge that my platform is mobile.
Yeah. Work is changing radically. At Rackspace, we're using now Yammer to chat with each other and send information back and forth. Here at the show, there's Confor. I saw at one of my panels. We're seeing Socialcast and Salesforce Chatter. What are you seeing happen in the enterprise space, and which one do you think is going to win in this race to change how we work together?
For the enterprise, it's a little bit of a nightmare. The idea that their employees are choosing their device. The idea is that the device commingles corporate stuff and their own stuff, makes all of their customers, really dangerous, all their employees dangerous. But the reality is we've moved to a peer-to-peer environment. It's not point-to-point anymore. And peer-to-peer includes my peers. A building means nothing anymore. Inside the building, inside the firewall. These are terms that are pretty meaningless, and corporations have not figured it out. Just a year ago, if you were talking to brand managers, they all had, stay away from Twitter, it'll destroy my brand. Now every brand manager says if you're not on it, you're no one. So then the next thing is, how do I mine the value of that? So we are also, with chat, peer-to-peer, all of this stuff, it's everybody's relationship commingled and massive amounts of data being created. Yeah. I don't think we saw any big data companies out there, but that's another huge theme. I mean, a terabyte is nothing. An exabyte is almost nothing. There's
several new San Francisco companies like Cloudera and Spigot that have sprung up in the last few years to serve the big data.
Yeah, Karmasphere, Mapper, the Structure Conference was just out in the East Coast, and that was wildly attended. So Hadoop, all the H's are big. Hadoop, Hive, HTML5. So there's a lot of frontier for innovators right now.
The business models are really interesting, too, on Yammer, because at Rackspace, for instance, we got each other on Yammer, right? It spread person to person to person, and now we have more than 1,000 people using it. Well, we're not paying for it yet. But the minute that the management wants to see all the data behind those 1,000 people working together, they're going to have to buy it, and it's $5 a person per month, approximately. of course, you can negotiate if you have that many employees, but that really shows how the sales process for enterprises has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think the fact that Yammer could find an on-ramp and create, get in the castle, and the moat was you want the data paid to cross the drawbridge. But it also means that pricing is very granular. And so it's not like the big, go get $1 million 10 times a year to get 10 million in revenues. So it's easier to get going, but you have to scale big because the pricing is low.
Very cool. Well, our time's up, which means we're between you and the beer or whatever's going on next. So thank you so much, and we're going to go out and judge the companies and then bring the best ones back for you.
Great.
Well, we had a lot of fun seeing a lot of companies that are, some of which are really good companies. What did you think of this batch?
I thought it was really interesting. There are a lot of great products out there. I think that some of them have more potential to scale to large companies, but there's still a lot of good businesses, and you don't need to get venture funding to be a great business.
Yeah, that's true.
So there were a lot of products I would use myself, and that's always a scary thing because I'm only an audience of one. But
how does somebody get into your office to pitch you? Because I noticed you were getting pitched like crazy out here.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to meet with everybody who has a pitch. So if you're an early stage investor, you have to read your own email, which I do. And my inbox.
Even after all these years.
Yeah, it's the best thing about my job. It's like a cornucopia. And if I have to work on a hard problem with one of our portfolio companies, I just start reading pitches because it's fun. And we really have to look at everything as the glass half full. Everything is potentially fundable. And so I probably read myself about 50 pitches a week and try to get at least 5 new company meetings on my personal calendar. And then we've got various companies going through different stages of meeting the partners. So the best way to pitch an early stage investor is just to send them an email and do your best to tell us why we should meet with you, and it will really separate whether you're dealing with a true early stage investor, whether they actually read it and get back to you with some thoughtful comment on why they're not taking a meeting or why they are taking a meeting.
Interesting. And I do something similar, but I don't always answer all my email. I just can't anymore. It's pretty interesting.
You might need one of those products we saw out there.
Yeah. I look for cool email tools that'll help me filter my inbox and show me the good stuff. So what do we want to talk about? There were several companies that we didn't pick, but we really liked. Like Zeit is one that you commented on.
Yeah, Zeit always surprises me. I'm not an RSS feed person because I have all sorts of ways I pull data. So I'm surprised how good it is. And I went into my partner's office, Mitchell Kurtzman, and had him pull up his Zeit page, and it was completely different than mine. And the guy's a total gadget freak, so his topic area was gadgets. So Zeit really works, and I would encourage everybody to give it a try.
It works when the Wi-Fi works.
Yeah.
Which is a problem here.
You like Project Noah, and so did I.
Yeah.
Is that because we read National Geographic as kids?
I think so. I mean, I had a stack of them in my bedroom.
I still have them. Not in my bedroom, but I have them.
Yeah. But I'm into nature, and I'm into going to Yosemite and stuff like that. And I live on the beach where all sorts of weird things crawl ashore, and so they have a way to share pictures of interesting critters and find out what they are and what their habitat is and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was at my house in Sonoma last summer, and a caterpillar bit one of my guests. And so we kept the caterpillar, but it left an imprint on the guest's arm. So we failed in doing Google searches and finding out what this caterpillar was, but I'm sure we would have found out that it was a pus-mouth caterpillar on the Project Noah site.
Very cool.
So very cool.
I travel a lot, so I really liked Room 77, which shows you what the best hotel rooms are in a hotel. Because oftentimes I get stuck at in the room by the elevator, which is really noisy and doesn't have a good view.
Yeah, I thought it was really fantastic, especially how they really, they virtually created the views from data. So there's a lot of technology involved in room 77 as well. It's not just people running around taking photos of stuff. You know, I thought it was really fantastic and will probably scale really, really fast. I didn't know it existed, so this is my first, you know, view of room 77. So I'm going to tell everybody about it because I'm an avid traveler.
I'm a video freak, and I have a new iPad too that has a video camera, even though it's not all that great. And FlixLab lets you take video, like on a vacation, for instance. Click a few buttons and make a video that you can upload to Facebook, and that's pretty cool.
It's very cool. You know, I'm also on my university board, and we're just on the end of a capital campaign. And I was just at my university 2 weeks ago figuring out how we get our alumni to be better givers. And I really loved Give Together. Yeah. I love gamification applied to lots of areas. And it's a great site. It's got some great customers. And I'm definitely going to go back to my university and try to make them a customer. Cool. And several other universities as well. I'll be at UCSB next week. I know the California system needs fundraising. Very
cool. I think, are you here to announce our winners?
I think we're going to start with our first winner. So, Anne, your choice is first. We'll let her rip.
You know, it's really hard to just pick one, as we're saying. And, you know, Robert and I had to, if we drank several beers, other than the one we consumed very quickly backstage, we might have changed our mind. But my pick is I Feel Goods.
All right, so I Feel Goods, come on down.
Yeah. And why did you like that?
You know, again, we talked earlier about how you really merge all these new concepts. And, you know, there really is sort of, I think, coupons are big. But I'm feeling coupon abuse right now. And this is bringing, you know, basically things that you've only seen in gaming and, you know, non-enterprise things. But the tagline is perfect. You know, it's real customers, you know, with virtual goods. So the mashup here is really sensational. The website is terrific. It's really, really looks like a company that's going to go places.
You ready?
Right. Yes.
Who are you?
My name is Scott Silverman. I'm one of the co-founders and the VP of marketing, and coupons are lame, and 50% off is for suckers.
Excellent. It's good when the story that we heard matches the T-shirt. So.
Yeah. Do we get one?
What's that?
Do we get a T-shirt?
We will mail you one.
That's a
no. So when does my 1 minute start?
Now.
Okay. So we are a B2B site. We help consumer brands like the ones you see here use Facebook credits and as a digital goods incentive for different calls to action and to replace traditional incentives like coupons and rebates and that type of thing. And it's used to drive sales and make promotions go more viral. So we are using them with our clients for a variety of different incentives. For purchase incentives, to retweet different promotions, for toolbar downloads, lead generation. And what's really nice about this solution is it's fully integrated into the consumer experience and the flow of the website. This is one of our examples of ShoeBuy offering 50 Facebook credits for any purchase. And we're seeing really amazing results for our clients on a variety of different key metrics. Advertising for online ads, we're seeing click-through rates go up by 2x. Conversion from up to 5x conversion when people are using Facebook credits. They have a very high perceived value. People see these credits and they get really energized and they use them to go to these websites and convert into whatever the brand is asking them to do. And there's a great viral component. So as soon as the credits are given to the customer, we immediately say, hey, why don't you go and share this promotion with all of your friends on Facebook and post to your wall. 60% of the people are willing to go and do that.
Cool, thank you.
Great job. So Robert.
Yeah. So I guess, come on over. We have a little Q&A session for the next 4 minutes or something like that.
Come on over.
How customizable are these virtual goods? Can you build them for brands like Coca-Cola and make them all red and make them fit into the website, or?
Yeah, I mean, you can do anything you want with the creative. And of course, you want to emphasize the Facebook credits in them or whatever digital goods that we're using in the future. You can completely brand them, and even on the share page, you can do branding there. And if you don't choose to encourage people to share, you could encourage them to go and like you. You could have them go back to the website and do something different as well.
So you have real enterprise customers, and they like measurement. Do you have analytics you deliver them? Is there a dashboard to show them how well this is working?
Yeah, so we're able to tell them what the conversion rate is on their promotions. They are able to use some of their own analytics package. So some of the promotions they'll see on parts of the site that aren't using our technology. So they'll use Google Analytics or Omniture or whatever analytics package they have to measure an A/B test who's clicking on these ads. Then we can give them information on who's redeeming, the percent of people that are redeeming, and the kind of information and the profiles of people that are redeeming these credits.
So you guys already have customers, and a lot of the companies we're talking to are just in beta. How did you break in here? Did you get one retailer to adopt you? I mean, it's such an obvious concept, but retailers don't move that fast.
Well, we have a great team, and a number of our co-founders are here. Michael Lamar, who's our CEO, Sushit Dash is our VP of Product, Vita Ha, who's our VP of Engineering. And we bring a diverse set of backgrounds and a lot of networks into the retail industry, into e-commerce that have been very helpful to break in and get retailers to test this. And so we know the space, and we know how to talk their language.
Some of the Twitter campaigns you've been running are sort of goofy. I wouldn't like to tweet that to my users. Do you offer any customization, and what's the conversion rate you're seeing? Are people picking up these new kinds of promotional ideas?
Yeah, it's completely customizable. So you could put in the Twitter message whatever you want. You could make it as promotional or as non-promotional as you'd like. And we haven't measured specifically. We've only done a few campaigns with a Twitter promotion, but we look at the Twitter stream, and whenever we get one out, it becomes very viral because people are seeing it. Especially, we can look at those who are the most influential and getting more people to tweet or retweet after one initial tweet is out there.
And are you getting the customers to pay by campaign, or how are you monetizing this again?
So the ideal situation is where we have one client, La Redoute. They're the #1 e-commerce site in France, and they are really motivated by the fact that they want to reverse that cycle of discounting. And so they made a fairly large commitment with us, and they're trying a variety of different things. So first they started a purchase incentive, then they did something to drive likes on their Facebook fan page. They have an Android app they want people to download, so they're going to try it for that. And it's a wide variety of different things that they're trying. So, and as far as the business model, we are marking up the credits. So we buy them at the retail rate, and then we mark them up at a higher rate. And we also charge a transaction fee. So every time there's one transaction, whether it's for a purchase or a retweet or whatever it is, there's a fee associated with that as well.
Have you found something that really works well with incentives, or have you learned something surprising by building this company?
Well, certainly we're surprised at how motivated people are when they see a Facebook credits promotion. So we have one campaign with ShoeBuy.com where we were running Facebook ads, doing an A/B test, and one of the tests, the control ad was $5 off, and the Facebook credits ad was 50 Facebook credits, which has a $5 value, and the click-through rate was double on the Facebook credits ad. So they definitely have a high perceived value. People love virtual goods, but they don't like paying for them. And this idea of getting them for free by doing something you're already doing, like shopping, is very appealing to people. The other thing we've learned is that this whole concept of micro-incentives, one of our other clients is an affiliate, and they're using it for a toolbar download and to build their fans on Facebook. So what they're doing is they have a like gate, and once you like them, then you have the ability to go and download their toolbar and get Facebook credits for doing that. So that's what we call a micro incentive, and even for the tweets. So the other really interesting thing we learned is how willing people are to do things for a small amount of Facebook credits. So we did something with the Dallas Mavericks where it's 5 Facebook credits to retweet a ticket promotion, and there were hundreds of tweets about that for people that just 50 cents worth of Facebook credits. I don't know what other incentive you could offer that would motivate people in such a strong, positive way.
Very cool.
And you also have the advantage of going to work every day and say, I feel good.
Yes, and don't ask me to
Terrific
sing any James Brown songs.
All right, thank you very much.
Great job.
All right.
Thanks.
You can stay up here if you want.
Okay, so Robert, your choice.
My choice was Keepsy.
All right, Keepsy, come on down.
Keepsy, come on up. And we'll pull up the website here.
Okay. Scott, we are going to have you go because we.
So this is a photo album site that lets you build photo albums out of your mobile pictures and print them. And I take a lot of photos, as some of you know. And they showed me a new feature coming soon that'll even let me continue using my Instagram, which is my favorite photo app right now on the iPhone. And it'll pull photos out of the Instagram and into a book, which I can hand out as gifts, which is really pretty cool. What did you think about these guys while they're getting ready?
I have 5 siblings who are at different levels of technology enthusiasm. And I happen to be with 2 of my sisters this weekend, and they're always trying to build these photo albums, and we have to email all our photos to them and then download them and then go look at the thing. And so we were working on, I had them look at Keepsy themselves. So I test marketed it with my family from Minnesota, and they all scored it really, really high. I thought it was fantastic. It actually, while you're sort of it removes all the friction and constraints from building photo albums in a way that seems really natural, given the technologies we have at hand. So it's lovely.
So are you guys ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. Your minute starts now.
All right, great. Hey there. So I'm Peter, the CEO and one of the co-founders, and this is.
I'm Blake. I run product. I'm another one of the co-founders.
So Keepsy is really about making photo albums easy. So. Give us a little love here. So other photo sites, what's wrong with other photo sites? First, they're complicated. It takes a long time to even get started on making your photo album. Secondly, they're time consuming. When you want to collect photos you take a trip, you want to get photos from other people, it's nearly impossible. You have to have everyone email them to you, and then you have to go add them to the photo album. And third, it's rigid. It's really difficult. If you want to add text, add more than 38 characters of text to a caption, you can't do it. So what is Keepsy? Keepsy is, we make the process simple. It's a single click to start your photo album. It's fast. You can share a link and have other people add their photos and add pages to the album. And it's flexible. If there's something you don't like about a page, you can change it. And best of all, it's $30 for a 30-page album.
Excellent.
Great job.
Yeah, come on over here. Why do this? I mean, there seems to be 1,000 photo apps to download on the iPhone store or the Android marketplace. Why get into this crowded marketplace?
So we both have little kids, so we love photos. Take hundreds of photos, and we fire.
Sorry, I was just saying thousands.
Yeah, we ourselves find that we don't make that many photo albums. And why is it? Because it's really difficult. It's just a painful process. So we decided we really could do something to make that a lot simpler, and hence we came up with Keepsy.
How long have you been out in the market so far?
So we did an early beta launch in December where we're really tightly integrated with Facebook. And one of the things we learned from that is that a lot of people are very uncomfortable about logging in through Facebook. If they want to add photos to someone's photo album, they don't want to have to grant any Facebook permissions. Yep. So we just relaunched the site just 2 weeks ago.
And what's the results been in the last 2 weeks?
It's been fantastic. So we were at South by Southwest, and people just love the concept. They really love the idea that if they're at an event like a wedding, it's super easy to get all the photos from the wedding into the one album.
Yeah, worth mentioning at the South by Southwest show, we actually had a sort of one of these crowd or in this case, a crowdsourced album built with over 400 people, and it's just this massive phone book of great photos of not just the event, but people eating barbecue and drinking beer and whatnot. It's just kind of a nice showcase for what it could do.
Since your business model is largely based on the printing, is that correct?
Yes.
How many, out of 1,000 customers, how many do you think will actually buy these books and print out printed goods?
So we think we're going to get a pretty high conversion rate. We are also looking at how we can monetize the digital albums as well. So we do make it super easy to aggregate all the photos, and it's free to get a digital album. But what we're hoping is that the events that we're targeting, at least initially, will get people the actual album. And anytime we've shown someone the album, they're like, "Oh my God, that is awesome! It's only $30."
Yeah. How come you guys didn't get funded for $41 million like Color did?
We were going to ask you that question of how do we get funded for $41 million?
It seems like a girl thing. Do men actually build these books, or do men take the photos and girls build the books?
They do when it's easy. Honestly, I mean, again, it certainly does probably skew towards a female demographic, but we found that once you see how the system works and you see that there's a pretty wide variety of flexibility and things you could do with the pages, there's a coolness to that ease of use and integration.
It seems like you could actually, school yearbooks, all sorts of stuff where it's just you've got sort of the, a social experience building it. So. And what made you sort of break the bounds of the other photo album, photo book building things? What was the spark that caused you to create this, other than you take a lot of photos?
So I receive a coupon every month from Shutterfly for a free album, and I never use it. That's crazy, because I love photos, and I love photo albums. There's something wrong and missing from the middle of that solution, and that's what we're trying to fix.
When I asked about Instagram, I was impressed that you already had a book that you were working on with Kevin from Instagram. We were specifically looking for companies that are using leverage to get into the marketplace. In other words, use other people's systems to get distribution and get users. Where are you guys taking this in the future?
So we're going to be integrating with a large number of sites so right now you can suck in your photos out of Facebook or out of Flickr. And we're going to be adding Picasso, and Instagram we think is, photography is moving to your cell phone. So we think that sites like Instagram are just fantastic.
Yeah, and I was impressed with the quality of the photos in the printed book, because when you see them on your iPhone, they look blurry and crappy on that small screen. Yeah. But in the printed page, they look beautiful, right? We never knew.
Yeah. Yeah, Instagram does a great job of making photos look even better as well because of all the filter effects that they add. So even some of the graininess sort of turns to be part of the makes the photo even more special when you add that sort of retro effect to it.
Yeah. How hard was the technology backplane for all of this?
So we had to build a lot of technology just around building the full photo editing capability, as well as just we're integrated with a few different print partners so that we can print your album kind of closer to where you live to get the shipping time to be less.
Yeah. What is your funding model right now? Where are you guys?
So right now we've raised some small round from a select group of angels, so 500 startups, James Hong. I've been the lead investor myself.
What did you guys do before this?
So I had two other companies. So last company I started was Simply Hired, was one of the co-founders, and then AtWeb, which was bought by Netscape at the end of '98.
Very cool.
I was originally working with the guys that are now doing Bleco at a company called Topics before that.
Very cool. Their dinner's going on right now. So
yes, it is over at Quint's. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This is really a great product and a great group of companies. It was really hard to pick one out of this group. So thank you very much.
I think the moral of this story is that there's a lot of complexity before it, but the simplicity and elegance of this was really, really appealing.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you guys. Okay, so we're down to our People's Choice winner, and I'm excited to announce that by a pretty good margin, Room 77 is our winner. So Room 77, come on down.
Very good. Room 70, I sort of dinged them a little bit because I gave them an award at the launch conference, and I didn't want to give them 2 awards at one conference, so I'm glad the audience jumped in there. But yeah, they're a very impressive company.
Are you guys going to publish the voting results, like what the returns are, or is it?
I only picked one company, you picked one company, and... oh, I don't know.
We don't know those results.
Yeah, we just knew the winner. Do you guys have all the results backstage? I'll try to find out and I'll tweet that later.
And there's a really great polling company out here that might be willing to publish the results
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. So you guys ready?
Hello.
Thank you. I mean, this is my favorite award. I mean, I love you guys, but getting everybody out here excited about what we're building is really, for us, at the end of the day, that's who we're trying to
pander to the audience is great.
Who we're trying to blow away. So,
thank you.
This is Heej. Heej leads our content and production efforts at the company. My name is Brad Gerstner. I'm the founder of the business and the chairman. But we have an incredible team out here who runs the business day to day in Sunnyvale. I've been in online travel for now over a decade. Full disclosure, I'm an investor and on the board even of a company called Orbitz. And looking at hotel search, which is about a $50 billion online category, so one of the largest online categories, as a traveler, it hasn't changed in about 10 years. And for us, we really want to innovate on that. Part of the reason it hasn't changed is the underlying data only goes down to the hotel level. So I don't care where you search today. Fundamentally, you're seeing kind of lowest category price, lowest category room in a hotel in a city. We want to help break that, but we had to solve it first by getting better data. The better data starts at the room level. So as you can see in this slide, we're literally sourcing all the way down to the blueprint, the individual room information. We're showing you the virtual view out of that room for 470,000 rooms, the map of the hotel, and we're actually rank ordering all the rooms in the hotel based upon your stated preferences. Close to the elevator, a long way away from the elevator. I want to have a great view, low floor, high floor. So we think once you start there, you can begin to really innovate at the top of the funnel on search. So if I'm coming to San Francisco, I may say, I only want to see a comparison of the hotels that have a king bed in the room and have a view of the bay. So, but you have to get that granular data first. So today, one of the things that we launched on the website was not only the view from the room, which we're now doing for all these different hotels, but also the view inside the room. So the hotel companies, we have partnerships with Starwood and Kimpton and a bunch of others coming. They're now providing us the content because they say this is a fundamentally better way to merchandise our product. With all due respect to all the other hotel search sites, it's not a good way for the hotels to merchandise the product. This is an example of kind of the virtual view versus the actual view from a room. The bottom picture is, same category, same room, very different view experience. And, when we talk about how we get this content, we have hotels who are providing us the blueprints, but we also launched our iPhone app. We have over 50,000 downloads in the first few days, and people are literally sleuthing the content, going to these hotels, taking photos of exit room maps, drawing the exit view plans, and we can create all of that content literally off of a photo or a drawing or a blueprint. So encourage everybody to go download the iPhone app. Walk up to the front desk. When they assign you your room, type it in. We'll tell you to take it or leave it. If it's a bad room, we're going to tell you the rooms you should request. If it's a good room, we're going to give you a green and a thumbs up and tell you to take it and contribute to the site. So that image, that drawing that we showed you there, literally we overlay on the Google map and can provide for you the view from every room. That's an example of the iPhone app. In this case, you type in room 303. We told you to leave it. We provide you alternative choices. And the last slide is the actual sleuthing of the room map that can help us increase the content on the site for everybody else. So I don't know if we have more slides, but that's the last one I think I'm going to do. Let's move to the question.
Very cool. Come on over here. Do you let people actually upload photos of the actual view out the window of the hotel rooms that we look at? And is that a good way for you to get more hotel rooms into here? Because right now you have 460,000 rooms, right?
We do. Obviously our technology is, generating the virtual view using Google Earth, but we certainly want people to help us see the data. One of the most fun things, I think, is actually going there and seeing how the virtual view compares to the actual view, and we found that, at least in the examples we've seen, they are remarkably spot on. So certainly we want a big user-generated component to our product. We want people to help us seed photos and review the rooms and such. So
yeah, do you hook in other data from other review sites as well? Because my wife and I are looking for vacation places right now in LA, and there's all sorts of stuff all over the internet. Some of it's really good quality, some of it's crappy quality. But are you pulling in any of that other stuff?
So right now, I think the most obvious one is Tripadvisor. So they have a lot of content. Not a lot of it is room related. So we are looking at those sites, but what we really want to do is we want to nail down this portion, really get to seed the content from our users to build the best product out there. We don't want to be the next Tripadvisor. We have no intention of being that. We really want to create the best room experience and a platform for which people can really delve into that.
So have you had altercations with your customers at check-in counters yet?
Certainly the hotels have told us stories about, it kind of clogging up the pipeline at the front desk.
Yeah.
But my attitude is, listen, we worship in one altar. It's the consumer.
Yeah.
We're going to empower the consumer with the information they need to make a good decision, and the hotels are just going to have to change. No longer you're going to be able to shove a crappy room down somebody's throat because they're not empowered with the information. And so, fortunately now the hotels, I think, realizing the inevitability of this, are partnering with us, and it's a much better way for them to merchandise their product. Yeah. So we can move from a system where we had limited number of room categories to a much better way where people are going to be happier in their room because they actually got what they want. And the hotels, we're working with them to figure out better ways to monetize this. So we've talked about a product that we'll be launching hopefully this summer called Room Request Guarantee, where hotels are saying to us, we want to give these rooms to our loyalty customers. And if you're not a loyalty customer, we'll charge you $20 extra. And we know consumers are willing to pay for that. So for us, if we build transparency for the consumer, we think we can build a better merchandising platform for the hotel.
Are you going to add other kinds of things into the room? For instance, I'm a geek. I really don't care what my view looks like on most of my trips.
Care about Wi-Fi signal.
I care about Wi-Fi. You got it, baby. So I want a strong Wi-Fi signal and best upload speed.
It's a great question. For us, it's limitless, right? So we already added, we got that feedback at the launch conference, and a couple days later, we added it to our iPhone app. So we're already collecting all that data now from users. And what happens is once users start contributing that data, the hotels say, wow, consumers really care about this. We'll just give you the data. They can walk from around the hotel and tell you where there's strong Wi-Fi strength and where there's not. So I think it's our intention to aggregate all the information on a room, interior photos, view from the room, size of the room, distance from the elevator, distance from the pool, Wi-Fi strength that matters to enable the consumer to make a good decision.
And one more. When I travel, I use a variety of apps to travel. I use Plancast to tell the system, the internet, and all of my friends I'm traveling. I use TripIt to track my schedule. I use Hipmunk, which is a really great service for finding flights and finding hotels. They don't tell me the room. Then I use you guys to find the room. Are you looking at partnering with some of these other systems that we use while we travel?
Yeah, today if you use the site, right, you're going to use it in combination with somebody further up the funnel on hotel search. But make no mistake about it. Our intention is moved to the top of the funnel. We think if you have the data, you can do better search. So, Hipmunk took the Orbitz API, did a mashup with Google Maps, and it's nice. It's better than the OTAs, which just shows you how bad the innovation has been over the course of the last 10 years. But the reality is, consumers want to refine their search by Wi-Fi strength, by the view from the room, by whether or not there's a king bed in the room, and then compare price across those dimensions. So, watch for us this summer, and hopefully by the end of the year, this is not only the place where you end your search, but where you start your search.
So talk about there really is a lot of room for growing the product. Pretty much, unbounded. So how do you balance putting your resources on growing the product with putting your resources in monetizing what you have today? This is something that every startup faces. Tell me where you are in that sort of
Or
balance
customer
equation.
acquisition. Right?
Or customer acquisition.
I
So
mean,
there's a lot of plates to spin here.
I mean, I think that fortunately we're a team who, everybody on the team has, each came out of Google. Our technical founder, Calvin Yang, built image search for Google. Kevin Fleiss, who runs the business day to day. Fleiss was the founder and CEO of Travel Muse. So we've all seen the movie, What Happens When You Aren't Religious About the Product. We are just going to zealously build the best product we can build. We're not focused today on monetization. We're not focused today on SEO and SEM. I mean, obviously, we think about those things, but we want to build a product that you want to go tell 10 of your friends about. So I would say everything else in our organization, right, sits lower in the queue. We have 3 key priorities today. More content, more data. So we have 500,000 rooms today. Our target is 5 million rooms, which is all 3-star hotels and above on a global basis. Number 2, building the most powerful search engine on top of this that exists in the marketplace today. And number 3 is what we call closing the loop. Yep. Today, you go and you request the room, but we're working with hotels. We have a lab set up in Sunnyvale with hotels. We're going step by step, how they balance the house, when they allocate the rooms. We want you to be able to get the specific room. I think when you look forward 2 to 3 years from now, you're going to walk into a hotel, you're going to go to a kiosk, slide in your credit card like you do at the airlines, boom, you're going to see a map of the hotel, they're going to assign you a room, you're going to have the opportunity to upgrade to a better view or better Wi-Fi or better bed, and then you're going to go up to the room and you're going to slide your credit card through the door and you're going to walk in. You're never going to talk to somebody at the front desk. And it's an opportunity for the hotel to do better by themselves, more revenue, more loyalty, and it's a much better experience for the consumer.
But by the time you get there, you won't be using credit cards anymore. It'll be all near-field communications.
Yeah.
So, that's a really good point. And it's one that there's no easy answer to, is you could stop now and be an ingredient for a hotel. Just white label this to Starwood or Hilton or whatever. I guess they're the same thing now. Or you could just try to take the whole category by building a platform itself. So you're going to go for the take it versus build a small business as an ingredient.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is we're moving up the funnel, and we think there's an opportunity to disrupt hotel search and be the dominant hotel search engine. However, we're talking with all the big hotel chains about ways to use this to be kind of the Room 77 on the inside on their own websites. We don't necessarily want to give this to our competitors, the Hipmunks of the world, right? Because we think this is highly differentiated content, but we don't think we ultimately compete with Starwood or Hilton. People don't start their shopping on Starwood, right? They start their shopping on a comprehensive search site, and they end up on Starwood. So we think there's an opportunity to power those websites, to enable the consumers on their websites to make room selection, et cetera, in a way that's non-competitive with our overall objective.
Very cool.
One last question.
Sure.
How much capital do you think it's going to take to bring this to scale?
A lot. So
$41 million a lot or more?
But a lot, but less than you'd think.
I would say we've raised $3 million in an angel round to date. And coming out of launch, people seeing the proof point, seeing the team that's intact, we have a lot of demand for raising a very big round for this business, because I think people, this is the type of bet, I mean, you can make you know better than I. This is the type of bet I think that venture capitalists want to make, which is there's real asset value here, and if you win in the category, it's not a small win. It's not, Kayak, which many people thought when they launched, they licensed the ITA API, they built better interface on top of it. They built $1 billion business by basically building slightly better search than what existed on the OTAs, right? So these aren't small opportunities if you can really control the top of the funnel.
Very cool.
Thank you guys so much.
Congratulations.
Well,
Thank
congrats
you.
on your success.
Great to meet you.
Thanks.